Good morning. My name is Donovan Walker. I'm planning operations for Great Basin Team 5. We're taking over from Great Basin Team 3, assuming command of the fire today. And I want to give you your morning operational briefing here. So we'll start up with the Bulldog fire up here. Fire had some check line put in across the north up here. We're going to be checking on that today, seeing how that's going. There's still quite a bit of prep work going on around the Silver Creek, the plunge area, Boiling Springs, all these values at risk up here. We continue to pay a lot of attention to getting the prep done in there, and really also watching some of the fire behavior coming off of an adjacent fire to the north that is active. It's active on the southern flank, and it is pushing around a little bit, so we're definitely communicating with the other team that's got that fire. They're going to be in transition tomorrow up there, so there's going to be a lot of communication ongoing over the next several days to make sure that we have our plan coordinated with their plan up there. West side of the Bulldog fire is looking really good. The black line that you see on the map, that continues to hold. Along the southern portion here, we've got a gap between the Bulldog fire and the Nellie fire here. And so there's a primary line being planned in here. This is all indirect control line in here. We do have some activity in the Lightning Creek that we're keeping an eye on, and over time, there is potential for those two fires to burn together in areas up here, and depending where that happens will depend what we need to do with this line in the future. But we have several crews in here continuing to improve that and get the hose lays put in, all the water handling equipment in there, so that we're able to use this line if it becomes necessary in the future. Okay, moving around towards the southern end here, as we're looking at Crouch and Garden Valley, and these values at risk out here, obviously this line being important to that, but the good work that's been done along the southern end of Nellie in the southwest corner here, this black line continues to be held well. Mop up has been occurring. There's even places in here we've pulled some of the hose out of there because it's looking real good, mopped up real deep in there, and it's been patrolled for well over a week. Moving into the Highway 17 corridor, along here we have some good security along a good portion of this in here. Mop up continues in these areas. A little bit of fire behavior and activity in here, not a lot of spread, but it still continues to be active as it pushes towards the old Pioneer burn scar. Moving up on the east side of Nellie, this is what we call our Division Oscar out here, but this is really, this whole area is bumping into the old Pioneer fire scar, and with a lot of these fires out here, that's a tactic we use, is to push them into these burn scar areas, because we're just not seeing a lot of activity. The fire really doesn't want to burn in there. A few areas where we do see a little bit of pushes in there, it's in little pockets that maybe didn't completely burn out in those old burns, and they're not really traveling that far. So this continues to be monitored by air, and we'll continue to be doing that in the days to come. As we move towards the northern part of the Nellie fire, here on this kind of northeast section, you'll see a spot that's out here. This is in a couple of little stringers of conifers that still exist out there. And we are keeping an eye on that. We opened some roads up in there to be able to get resources back in there to assess this situation. We know we have White Hawk Mountain Lookout up here, and we have plans in place to make sure that that remains protected. Best way to protect that is to deal with this where it is. So we continue to work on that today. Moving around towards the north, there's a couple of road systems in here that we continue to do prep on to be able to use to check this fire. The northern piece of this, what we don't want to see is this to hook back around towards the northwest. Not very likely scenario, so there's a couple of control features that we're using, mostly roads, and they're being improved. The 555 road, we call that the triple nickel, moving to the north, also continues to be prepped up, heading up towards Deadwood Outfitters in those areas, and we're still masticating along the sides of the roads, opening that up, making sure it's a defendable feature if fire wants to push north. But we really just don't want to see this coming back this way. Everything around Deadwood Reservoir here, a lot of pretty intense work done over the last several shifts in here with hand lines, tying into dozer lines, some mop up. We had some bucket operations on the southwest corner of Deadwood yesterday, trying to make sure that fire doesn't creep along, and some unburned fuels on this side here. Crews were also putting a little bit of hand line in, tying the black into the rattlesnake fire, which is over here. Kind of the same thing on this side is if fire wants to push into that, it's not going to go that far into the rattlesnake fire. So that operation should be finished today. This is ongoing and will be ongoing for several days. That's really what we have today for the plan. It's a good plan. We're going to be here the next couple of weeks, next 14 days, and we plan on getting a lot of work done. We don't think the fire is going to be put out in 2 weeks. This is likely going to be ongoing, but we're going to make it look better and better every day. That's our goal, that's our push, and to do it safely. So with that, we're going to wrap this up for today. Thank you.